a victim in a 30-year-old murder case. We hear from George Floyd's girlfriend on the fourth day of Derek Chauvin's trial, and a tasty way to trick your kiddos into eating healthy with brownies.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Now that investigators in McDonald County have identified the victim of a 3-decade-old cold case, they have a new task: finding the killer. This is KOAM News at Noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Tapping our first 7 minutes. A breakthrough in a 1990 murder investigation. For 30 years, detectives work off of this rendering as they try to identify a woman known only as Grace Doe. And now DNA evidence reveals who she really is: Shauna Beth Garber. Garber was found dead in 1990 on Oscar Talley Road in McDonald County. The DNA led law enforcement to Shauna's half-sister, who had been looking for Shauna for years. Lieutenant Hall with the McDonald County Sheriff's Office says the case is far from closed.
Trying to backtrack who Shauna was, foster parents, trying to get information on who she may have lived with in Kansas when she was, or what school she went to.
Lieutenant Hall says investigators are happy to have part of this 30-year mystery solved and excited to move the investigation into its next phase. The original autopsy reports show Gerber was strangled and raped 2 months before her body was found. Now, a warning: we're about to show you an image that some viewers might find graphic. Authorities say she was tied up using 6 types of bindings: nylon rope, coaxial and telephone cables, paracord, and clothesline. Lieutenant says investigators determined the paracord was military grade and was exclusively sold to the military in the 1990s. Lieutenant Hall says investigators are now working to retrace Shauna's steps. Next Tuesday, voters in Nevada, Missouri will decide on 2 school bond proposals. One, a nearly $14 million proposal, would fund repairs to several elementary schools and improvements at the high school football stadium. The second, a $12 million bond to fund the construction of a new elementary school. That new school would also be partially funded by a $10 million donation. Well, if you're voting for warmer temps, you may have to wait a few days.
Another one at least. But hey, why can we not have a smile on our face for today?
That's right.
Yes, there it is. I knew she was going to play along today. She told me this morning that she had a surprise that was coming. Of course, it's opening day, and for what? We've been doing this for the past 4 years, you and I?
At least.
Yeah, and opening day, we try to sport something with one of our teams on it. Love the Astros jersey. Absolutely love it. You're the best. Live look outside of Television City, bright blue skies, but I tell you what, there is a definitive chill in the air. Our weather almanac as we open up our 4th month of the year. We should be around 65 degrees later on this afternoon, but we're going to be hard-pressed to find that. We bottomed out at 28 degrees at Joplin Regional Airport earlier this morning. But here's a little positive part of it, and it comes in the form of our winds. Not too bad right now, but coming in from the north, that's what's keeping us so low. But we're starting to shift out there in central Kansas, and so eventually we're going to see a little warming trend. You're just going to have to get through another chilly night, however, and can't back off of making sure we take care of that vegetation, because after we hit sunset, at 7:42, that's when our temperatures really begin to plummet. Check out Future Track right here. Coming off of the freeze warnings that we had this morning, we're going to have to roll them again for Thursday into Friday. So the freeze warning really stays out to our east. Now, what we'll do here, break down the color codes. The lighter purple that you see, frost advisory, still very dangerous for our plants. And then as we work down into northeast Oklahoma, that is a freeze watch. And so we've got a little bit of everything here as we head into the weekend. But Tanya, speaking of the weekend, absolutely perfect for those morning Easter egg hunts on Sunday, because we're coming off overnight lows in the 30s. Easter Sunday, we're going to make it up to 70.
That'll be nice. That's where I was talking about the warmer temperatures. Got to wait a bit, though.
I'll check out the weather in Houston here while you continue.
All right, that sounds good. Thanks, Michael. Well, jurors in the Derek Chauvin trial have heard from at least a dozen witnesses so far and seen surveillance and police body cam video of George Floyd's arrest. Day 4 of the trial is expected to have more emotional testimony. George Floyd's girlfriend, Courtney Ross, was the first to take the stand this morning.
I said, well, can I pray with you? I was so tired. We had been through so much, my sons and I. And this kind person just to come up to me and say, can I pray with you?
Ross told jurors about the day she met Floyd and how he approached her while she was crying. She told the jury, like many Americans, Floyd struggled with an opioid addiction to deal with back pain. During Wednesday's testimony, jurors were shown new video of Floyd being restrained by police shortly before his death. And about 4 miles away, the intersection where George Floyd died remains a protest zone. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at noon, your favorite CBS sitcom stars share their favorite silly outtakes in honor of April Fool's Day. And later, we celebrate the holiday in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen with a recipe called Koam Black Bean Brownies. Happy April Fool's Day. To celebrate the holiday of pranks and practical jokes, the stars of CBS's 2-hour Thursday night comedy block are sharing some of their favorite outtakes and bloopers from this season. Check it out.
Happy April Fool's Day!
Happy April Fool's Day!
Happy April Fool's Day, all you April Fools!
Anytime something goes wrong with the prop, it's a gift from the gods. In this scene, one of our camera operators said, use the whipped cream, do something silly with that. So much came out. I was not expecting that. And what I loved about that is that I just stayed in the moment. I was like, I'm gonna eventually swallow this whipped cream and I will get my line out and you just have to stay with me and don't say cut. Allow me to... I'm so parched. I just need a little sip of sweet tea.
I'm probably the most likely to goof up on a line. If things get kind of weird, I just laugh. I can't help it. You can't keep a cat from meowing when that cat wants to meow.
The person who goes up on their lines most on this show is...
Not me. I'm not saying who. They know who they are.
Probably me.
It's supposed to be Y-O-U-R. What you wrote means I hope your arm gets better.
One person laughs and everyone's laughing and it's over.
I am cracking up all day, every day.
Who is the funniest on set and off? I think this answer would be unanimous. It's got to be Dean Norris.
Oh yeah, the mansion, all right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's a man. It's not a mansion, it's a palace. Thank you, Mark.
Once he gets going, we cannot stop laughing.
It's all right. You got a script. Don't worry about it. I got it up here, brother.
All of our little idiosyncrasies make each other laugh.
Everybody's got a delicious funny bone.
I'm not just saying this to be diplomatic, but I think we're all pretty good.
I love surrounding myself with people that like to laugh.
You know it's gonna be crazy and funny.
Happy April Fools!
Happy April Fool's Day to all of my kindred fools.
Don't miss all new episodes of Young Sheldon, Mom, and Be Positive, plus the premiere of United States of Al. It all starts at 7 p.m. right here on KOAM. Still to come on the KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
It's April Fool's Day, and we have a way to fool your gang with a dessert that starts with, let's just say, something that no one would expect. No one.
But first, Michael Hayslip returns with your complete forecast.
Whether it be celebrating just a beautiful four-state afternoon, getting ready for the Easter weekend, maybe you're happy just to turn the calendar into the month of April, or like Tanya and myself, it's not Casual Thursday now. It's become a tradition during the KOAM Morning News and the KOAM News at noon on opening day. We like to break out the jerseys every now and then, but there is a distinctive chill in our air as we get ready for April 1 temperatures that are only going to get into the 50s here later on this afternoon. Managed to escape any red flag warnings despite the fact that humidity extremely low at 33%. We have been able to work up in the low 50s in Fredonia and Chanute up to 51, but look, we're still sitting at 45 in Aurora, 48 in Neosho, and 49 in Carl Junction. And as far as the Skywatch Storm Tracker goes, here's what we'll keep an eye on as we head toward Easter weekend and the reason why it's going to be much warmer and just absolutely delightful. It's the big ridge of the jet stream. It's going to move to the east and feed us those warmer temperatures. Just a day ago, we were looking at single digits in Denver and Billings. Look at how they've jaunted up already. They're into the 50s, and so we'll be the recipient of some of that warm air. Instead of pulling down from Canada, it's actually just going to cover it up from the southwest and give us a perfect Easter Sunday. Now, before we get there, we did mention it is opening day and the St. Louis Cardinals are in Cincinnati. Thine eyes do not deceive you. They're actually in the midst of some light snow showers right now, expected to turn over into rain here by the first pitch and then possibly develop into light snow by the end of the game. Accumulation numbers extremely limited. Looks like the Cardinals will be able to hopefully slide that one in. Now it's a completely different picture when you get on the other side of the Mississippi. Look at all this, just absolutely gorgeous. And so when we talk about the Royals home opener today, that'll be against the Kansas City Royals, sitting at 41 right now. So yeah, a little chilly out at Kauffman Stadium. And speaking of, how about a live look out at the K? First pitch at 3:10. It'll be Brad Keller up against Kyle Gibson. Haven't seen any of the fans make their way in yet, but it will be such a great sight to see people actually watching Major League Baseball this year, coming off of last year where we had to get used to empty stadiums. Move on down to south of Kansas City. Like I said, no worries for us, whether it be cloud cover, whether it be precipitation. The only thing that we're going to have to concern ourselves with is after the sun sets about 7:42. Freeze warnings and frost advisories. That's right, we're going to rock these back-to-back days. Woke up with them this morning. We're going to have to reinstitute them. And here's why. Because after the sun sets, we're back down around that 30, 31 degree mark. And before we get the rebound, and we will get the rebound, we still need one more night to take care of our vegetation. Let's break down these color codes. Frost advisories in the light purple. Right now, all the freeze warnings that we had this morning, the freeze warnings for tomorrow, staying off to the east of us. That's subject to change. Not going to be surprised if those same counties don't end up in the freeze warning with Springfield and the rest of Missouri. Down in northeast Oklahoma, that's a freeze watch. Doesn't mean it's imminent, but certainly means the possibility. Anywhere you are in the 4 states, once again, I'd leave the plants inside for one more day. But once again, as we talk about what the jet stream does, look at the warmer temperatures that we're going to have Friday afternoon, up into the 60s, and why stop there? On Saturday, we are going to cruise into the mid-60s. Tanya, you know what I like to say. Why stop there? Saturday into Sunday, Easter Sunday, 70 degrees, light scattered rain, isn't going to affect any outdoor plans, and it's really going to be mostly sunny skies.
You can't complain about that at all. And, you know, we're in our attire, and I'd have to say that my shirt has now become a classic because even though he's no longer with the Astros, they're still my team, and this one is for your son.
Get out!
That's Kale's guy.
Okay, that was visceral reaction, people. I had not seen the back of her jersey. George Springer happens to be my son's favorite baseball player. That's too cool that you wore that.
Yep.
You're awesome.
All right, thanks, Michael. We take this time to honor today's 4-state hero, Staff Sergeant Raymond Mitchell in the U.S. Army. Calling both Opolis and Galena, Kansas home, Mitchell joined the 2nd Battalion 506th Infantry 101st Airborne Unit in 1969. He fought in Vietnam until 1971, earning a number of honors, among them the National Defense Service Medal and the Vietnam Commendation and Air Medals. To Staff Sergeant Raymond Mitchell, we thank you, our 4-state hero. Today we're making a dessert you can indulge in without the guilt. No April Fool's joke here. Howard shows us how to make his Koam black bean brownies in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Today we're making pickled pig's feet. I'm just kidding. Happy April Fool's Day. It's not exactly a national holiday, but I want to make sure you're aware of it so you aren't the one getting fooled. On the other hand, if you're looking for a tasty way to fool your friends and family, tonight we have a Koam black bean brownie recipe that would be just perfect. Here's how to make it. We start by combining a can of drained black beans in a blender or food processor with some cocoa, a couple of eggs, sugar, a bit of milk, canola oil, and a splash of balsamic vinegar. Yes, vinegar. And to make these rise, we'll add a little baking powder, baking soda, and salt. We give it a whirl, and once everything is smooth, stir in some chocolate chips. This gets poured into a baking dish and popped into the oven to bake until the center is set. They'll never guess that you left out the flour and added black beans. Once they're done telling you how tasty these are, be sure to let them know that they've been fooled and that it's the black beans that gives the brownies its fudgy texture. To get the recipe for our Fool and Black Bean brownies, all you have to do is check out our website. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a foolishly delicious way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
I can personally say I've ate these brownies. Howard made them for me and they were delicious. You should try this recipe. You can find it along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at koamnewsnow.com. Here's a look at our 4 state market prices.
Two factors at play for tomorrow morning. The frost advisory in light purple, the turquoise indicating the freeze watch down through northeast Oklahoma. Our temperatures are going to be in the 60s tomorrow, and then we're able to make it up into the mid 60s and low 70s by the time we get to Easter.
Well, get ready to play ball. Well, watch at least. Resale site Game Time released prices for last-minute tickets to baseball's opening day. Tickets to see the San Diego Padres cost the most, averaging nearly $1,100 a pop. In Miami and Arizona, wallets aren't hurting as much though. The average cost for those MLB games is around $50. Not too shabby.
I guess, yeah, big difference.
Dow's on board.
Go Royals.
Caps on.
Got my Astros.
Got to admire fans supporting their teams, even if it's sometimes the wrong team. You know what's coming up at 5?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, the 2021 Major League Baseball season kicks off today. Have you heard? But with some big changes to keep fans and players safe, we're going to take a look at what's in store. Plus, there's a high demand for the Johnson & Johnson one-time vaccine. We're going to hear why Crawford County Health Department held a clinic offering only that vaccine. And Lamar School District Superintendent explains why the district is asking voters to rezone part of another school district. Those stories, I don't know if we mentioned it, but also baseball is back. Join us. Those stories, a lot more. KOAM News at 5.
So baseball starts today?
Yes, baseball, Major League Baseball.
It's the top of the second in New York right now. Blue Jays, Yankees.
But not all the teams are playing today.
And we had one COVID cancellation, one rain out. But you know what? We'll take 13 out of 15. It's better than 0.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM News at Noon. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.